Welcome to Freeville Summer Camp. If the school you're at think you need a bit of extra help, you can be sent here to get back on your feet. During these 3 months you will get to know students from other schools, socialize, do fun activities and even have personal tutoring to monitor your progress. This year's summer camp is done a bit differently, however. You will be divided into 2 teams and collect points to really engage that fighting spirit. And the best part, the losing team does not get to come back to their school next semester. Yeah. It's such a fuck up that the school has sent you here as a last resort. Either you get your shit together or you don't come back. Welcome to Freeville Summer Camp, freaks. Hello there fellow NPCs, I'm Scythe and today we're going to be trying out the game Freaks, a visual novel about dealing with trauma and how to not let those traumas define who you are. You can find the game over at itch and you can find Bliss over on Patreon and Discord. A quick warning before we start playing this game is that this game touches up on a lot of difficult topics. This game focuses directly on different kinds of traumas, so if that is not your cup of tea, then there's a chance that this game is not for you. I really did enjoy it though, however, so if you can stomach it, I would suggest that you give it a try. I also want to say that I have been very fortunate in life that I do not have any kinds of traumas like those portrayed in this game, so I don't know if these are accurate depictions or not. However, as a reader who has never faced these kinds of things in real life, they do feel believable. And I will give massive props to Bliss for that. It is not easy to portray these things and not make a mockery out of it. As I said, I don't know if it is accurate, but it feels believable. So, let's get into the game. In this game, you will be playing as Chris, who is a bit of a Casanova, a bit of a playboy, nymphomaniac, whatever you want to call it. Either way, you're having so much sex in your free time that it is actually affecting your school results. And that is why you've been sent here to Freeville Summer Camp. You will be meeting students from other schools and you will be socializing, all in the hopes of speedrunning getting better. Because just like you, they are here to make sure that they are fit to go back to school next semester. As I mentioned, this game does touch upon a lot of trauma, and this has led to some feedback from some of the players, and they have asked Bliss to tone down some of the darkness in this game. I personally feel that that is unfortunate, and I think that Bliss should stick to their guns and just continue writing the story they want to write. Because this story is good because of the dark themes that is in it. So by toning it down, I do believe that the story might suffer in the long run. Other than that, this is a college comedy where you run through the events pretty damn fast in general. One night, you're playing Truth or Dare with the other classmates, and the next you are at an onsen trying to look at the pretty girls in bikinis. And because of how fast things are moving, I felt like Bliss didn't really put all that much effort into any one single event. But after playing the game and really getting into the story, it checks out. You are at a summer camp trying to speedrun getting better. That means you are going to move through events very fast because you have a lot of things to do. You're going to be seeing a lot of trophy arcs, so just lean back and enjoy yourself. And so now that we have been talking about what the game is all about, let's go over the quality of the game. So let's start with the video. I will say that the characters and the renders are perfectly fine. They are not top tier and they are not bottom of the barrel either. They are somewhere there in the middle and I enjoy it. It looks good. And what I really do enjoy is that some of the characters have specific attributes that can really pull you in. For example, with Winter, she always have a new cosplay every day and for every event. Depending on what she's feeling for that day, she will cosplay as something new. Or for example, how Blair's eyes actually have heart-shaped irises. Kinda weird, but I kinda dig it. It's kinda nice to see actually. It is a very new take on character, at least for me. I haven't seen this before. Most of the characters are always supposed to be so realistic. But these small character choices is also making the characters fun. One choice that I do not enjoy, however, is the fact that the teeth are fucking realistic. It is not an unknown fact that when you make teeth realistic, they will start creeping people out, and I am one of such people. Do not make the teeth realistic, it looks freaky as hell, and not the good kind of freak. Let's focus on the teeth. Away with them. And of course, this game also features a gallery of lewd images. Something we are to expect in these games. However, it is not done in the normal way that you see an event and you get a snapshot of that event. No. Rather, you go through an event like the paintball shooting, and then you get a pop-up notification saying that a new gallery has been received. And when you look through that gallery, you will get all the girls that you're still on the path of, and you will see them in that theme. So for example, with the paintball competition, you will see them in military outfits and with different kinds of weaponry. So that is fun. It's different, but it doesn't feel out of place. It really gives more of a game feeling rather than snapshots of what happened throughout the game. I like it. It's not, it doesn't feel strange or out of place. It's a different way to do it, and I enjoy it. However, I will say that the formatting of the gallery is awful, honestly. I talked to Bliss about this, and he explained it to me that this is Rempi's standard formatting, and that formatting is awful. So regardless of what you want to look at, regardless if you have a favorite girl or not, you will look at all the images together as a big giant slideshow, and it is always sorted on the theme. So for example, if you happen to like Blair, then you still had to look through all the other girls before you can get to the Blair images. And of course you can go into Blair's gallery and choose the image you want to look at, but if you press next, you will get another girl that is within the same theme that you were just looking at. So the only way to actually look at only Blair pictures is to enter a Blair picture, get out of that image, and then jump into the next one. You have to do it manually, back and forth, and as I said, that is actually very obnoxious, very bad, and I really hope that Bliss takes care of that moving forward. And last but not least, we will be going through the animations of the game. And unfortunately, I can't give this a positive scoring whatsoever. The animations are really bad. It's like an old Flash animation that keeps on buffering, but never finishes. So it keeps on lagging throughout the entire animation. And I do believe it is next to impossible to actually enjoy the scene. So in my opinion, this is a bigger issue than the gallery, but it also requires a far stronger computer or a system, is what I assume. So I understand if it's going to take far longer time to fix this part of the game. But as I said, as it is now, the animations are not good. You're going to have to put in a lot of effort yourself if you're trying to enjoy these scenes. Next up is the audio of the game, and I really only have one thing to say about it, and that is to be careful as you play it. Because of the fact that we are dealing with different kinds of trauma in this game, it's going to be visualized through the tinnitus sound. And it doesn't matter how low you put this sound, it's going to cut through and it's going to be painful. I mentioned this to Bliss as well, that the sound is far too loud and goes on for far too long. In fact, it goes on for the entire scene. At which point they explained that the tinnitus sound is actually only 5% in volume compared to the other sounds in the game. In order to showcase just how low that volume actually is, I will be lowering the volume of this sound in just a few seconds. This is full volume right now, and this is 5% of the same audio. This volume of tinnitus sound is still painful to listen to. So as I said, be careful. Next up is the choices that you make in this game. And they are not a lot of choices, to be honest, but I feel that they are very important and impactful. And possibly best of all, they are not as obvious as they are in some other games. When you are presented with a choice, you can choose the option that you feel will push you forward in the sexual aspects of the game, and it might, but it also does not mean that you will go further with that girl. So when you are presented with a choice in this game, you can choose to make a move on the girls, and it's not always going to be the right choice. And now that we have gone through the fundamentals of the game, let's go through the different characters. And in this I have also listed what I believe to be their different disorders, and I have used ChatGPT to help me pin these down. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Let's start off with Chris, a former MMA fighter that has it easy getting the girls. Definitely a power fantasy, as his indomitable spirit, fist and sense of morale never wavers. He does no wrong. Trauma, Casanova, and sex addict. Edward, a class clown and a comic relief. Quite a freak who doesn't understand the concept of personal space. Trauma, exhibitionist, delusions of grandeur. Victoria, a beautiful girl who does a lot of questionable things. She doesn't value her body and currently sees her actions as a means to an end. To be normal. Otherwise, very laid back and chill. Trauma, body dysmorphia. Delilah, a very quiet girl that doesn't let others in. But sometimes words are useless. Sometimes it's okay to just exist. Trauma, depression, and PTSD. Winter. A cosplayer who wears her emotions on her sleeve. With a new character every day, she's in a constant state of escapism. Trauma. Selective mutism and survivor's guilt. Blair. Cutest girl around, all stuffed animals and rainbows. Until you get between her and the MC, and that is when the blades comes out. Trauma. Schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, regression, fixation with aggressive tendencies. Morgan. An actual bitch. She seems to have dirt on everyone and seems to prefer to have enemies rather than allies. Trauma. Drug addiction and antisocial disorder. Jordan, the heterochromia girl in this game, but that is not ever even mentioned. It's just part of her appearance. But not those abs. They took a lot of time to get, she worked hard for them. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Trauma. Bulimia. Julia, our teacher or prison warden, depending on whom you ask, truly wants to help these students but have a hard time separating personal and professional life. Trauma. Cheating husband. And as a quick thing before we end this video, I couldn't really find a place to put this, but I want to say it either way. This game has helped me come to terms with one big thing personally. I am an ally and have friends that are part of the LGBTQ+ community. However, I have also felt that I might have difficulties dating a trans woman. Not because I don't see them as women, but because I don't know if I could date someone that has a dick. Honestly, yes, that is a big deal in the end. I was raised as a straight cis man, and as such, even though it was never said out loud, I have been socialized and taught that I would never be dealing with any other person's penis. And so I have been wondering, would I be able to date a trans woman because of this one thing? I have these expectations of what a woman is supposed to be. I have grown and I accept women of all shapes and sizes, of course, but what am I comfortable being with? And of course, this game has not completely fixed that, but I have, in a sense, experienced it now, even if it was on the extremely small sense, but it was still something. So, thank you, Bliss, for exposing me to this. I don't really have a way to say this in a good way, but I want to underline the fact that it gave me at least a tool so that I have something in the future if I ever were to be presented in this kind of situation. It sounds weird, but I am grateful to the game for this fact. Yes, that's all there is to it. I'm grateful. And that concludes this review. Like I said, you can find the game on itch and it takes about 8 hours to finish. I did enjoy playing this game, and it feels like a mix of a shonen anime, and towards the later chapters it's starting to get into a bit of a high school of the elite sort of feel. How that is going to play out, however, is something we just have to wait and see. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.